Hello, my name is Jodi Low, and this is the Leadership Lowdown, powered by the BBB and You and Improved. The Leadership Lowdown cuts through the clutter and gets to the heart of what makes businesses tick. We want to share the stories that matter to you, all of the successes and triumphs and all of the pitfalls, and everything that happens in between. So with that, let's get on to today's show. So welcome to the Leadership Lowdown. I am so excited because I have two new best friends as of about 4 minutes ago. So we have, and I'm going to just look so I don't make any mistakes on names. So Jonathan Buford, am I saying that right? And Patrick Ware of Arizona Wilderness Brewing Company. Did I get all that right?
You nailed it.
Perfect. Okay, so we are having so much fun even before we started this show, talking about you, your brand, the environment, wilderness. So first and foremost, so that those of the rest of the world that have not been in the room with us can hear. Tell us about how you started the company, started the brand, how this all happened.
Yeah, it was probably around 2005 or 6 or 7. I got into landscape photography. Still, a big passion of mine. I'm a contributor to Arizona Highways magazine.
Oh, cool.
And kind of, I think that that's a major part of the story because sharing the landscapes with all of the new people moving in, to me is very important. Mm-hmm. You're moving from the Midwest or somewhere else and you might only see Phoenix and think it's one thing.
Yeah.
So it always had that at the heart of it. I would like to show you a different side of this beautiful state. So fast forward to the craft beer boom. Mm-hmm. Everyone was doing it. Mm-hmm. It was all the rage. It had an energy behind it that, a lot of industries have blown up because of essentially Chinese manufacturing or Asian manufacturing. Mm-hmm. Well, this was uniquely American. Mm-hmm. It was, yes, China was making stainless steel for us, but Americans were making this new thing called craft beer. And your local brewery was on the corner. Yeah. So it had this energy that was so definable. Yeah. It wasn't just a product online. It was something you can go tangibly touch right now. Meet the brewer.
Yeah, it was a revolution.
It was a revolution.
It was.
Yeah,
it was.
So
You're
we
absolutely right.
we really we all got into it. When I say we, class of 2013 when we opened, we all have a similar story where we just got really ignited by this. I say ignite. We got ignited by craft beer. So I said, what if we can combine the two? In the middle of all of that, meaning the love of the outdoors and craft beer. In the middle of all that was this state's biodiversity, ecological diversity, growing zones. We have 6 different zones, including tundra, which people don't normally see in a state where there's desert. Mount Humphreys and Flagstaff actually has a tundra. So we have all those zones.
So cool.
We have so much diversity in this state, and so I started in a garage wanting to be a liaison from the farmer to the consumer. Mm-hmm. That was always something I thought was a major part of wilderness. And so we did a Kickstarter, and we were the second brewery ever to do it back when crowdfunding was a baby. It didn't make sense to a lot of people. Like, you want free money from us? Yeah, we'll give you a shirt.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was doing, but you don't need to know what you're doing to be successful. You need to just keep going. Yeah. So we kept going. Kickstarter happened, and then Pat and I, we met. Basically, a lot of people thought we looked like each other. Pat had brewing background.
Okay.
And I had a lot of hey, I think I can make this brand work. And so in 2012, we get together. In 2013, we open up from garage to the first ever brewery in Gilbert in a building that we wouldn't choose again. But at the time, it was the one.
Wow. And that's still your original today?
Yeah. 13 years going.
Nice.
And I think the people of Gilbert and Mesa and Chandler know it well and appreciate it well. So, it starts on a trail, literally on I saw a sign, the wilderness sign. That's our logo now. I borrowed it from the federal government. And then fast forward to now, I think, we have new challenges and new endeavors. But the core of the company still lives on that trail. It still lives loving the state of Arizona and its vast beauty.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. And you really, obviously in the name, you've taken your love of nature, the wilderness, preserving and conservation, all those things, and aligned it with a a product and a brand and a community, really, that you've built from this. So you started with the Gilbert location, and then next was downtown Phoenix?
Yeah.
Okay.
2019 is when we opened. You want to hit that one, Peck? Because that, that was a big move for us.
Yeah. What's that like going from 1 to 2?
It's interesting. I was like looking at the, because our lease is coming up, and it's, it's been like 5 years now.
Yeah.
And we opened that one 4 years into our existence. And it's like, we weren't ready for that at all, but we just, took that leap, and we're just running on fire and passion. And inspiration, right? John had mentioned before.
Do you need anything else? I mean, it's all fire, passion, and inspiration, right?
I could list a few things that we needed, but
Well, and we were uniquely gifted to be able to travel based on some awards that we received. #1 new brewery in the world, and it was like quite a moment for us, which we didn't really understand at the time.
It was a gift from whatever brew gods there. It was like, oh, okay, and every news agency saying this about us.
We weren't, but we fit an algorithm. That was like, if you make a lot of different creative products and they're rated high enough, and you fit this paradigm that is the rating system, and we fell at the top of it, and so we went to Japan and Copenhagen.
If we listed the countries, it could be a 30-minute.
Wow!
But it really opens your eyes to the way that hospitality can function, beer can function, different craft products, across the world, and all of these different levels of inspiration that craft. The Japanese are like notorious for this type of stuff, and then we're able to get that inspiration and come back and then bring that into Arizona, which, being a young city, like now we have a really developed food scene, right? And we have a lot of incredible restaurants and distillers and everything, bread makers, but even like 10 years ago, there wasn't a ton, People come from the Bay Area and be like, where do I get a good, loaf of bread? And it's like, wildflower, like
like I don't really know where to tell you.
No offense to Wildflower.
No offense.
You should be the best bread maker. Now we have Proof, and we have Don Guerra, and we have, obviously Noble. So
a lot of different ones.
But we were a little in over our head, and I think one of the beautiful things about our partnership is that John is willing to dive in headfirst no matter what. And he really gets things going. And not that I pull them back, but I try to just circle and rein in the functionality of some things.
Got it.
And so he was able to drive forward and say, let's go do this project, and we barely made it by a sliver. I think we had to take out so much money and take all of our personal money and throw it to get the project over the finish line.
I love that your producer loves the downtown Phoenix one, because we were this close to bankruptcy over it, and I don't think our staff really
even knew.
No, they probably still don't. It's not really.
Now they
Who
do.
cares if the owner, is going out of business when I have my own job to do? But downtown was too early. However, it also is the coolest location we possibly could have built.
Really, yeah.
It's just you have to just call it magic. I don't know how it happened.
We're not.
Don't look at us as some business savant here. You ride the wave of business, and when it crashes, you have to be ready. But when you're at the top of it, you all of a sudden have a 600-seat beer garden downtown going, I owned a window cleaning business before this.
Right. Like, how the hell did this happen?
I was knocking on doors saying I can clean your windows, and I did that for 7 years. I didn't really go to any school for that.
Yeah. And I brewed beer for a couple of years at a local brewery. It's not like we had this deep deck of knowledge.
Right. You're not coming out of
and so,
business school with multiple degrees.
I flunked out of business school, too.
Which is why I liked him so much.
Right, you're like, I like this guy.
And the only time it hasn't worked for us is if we get super successful people around us. It doesn't work. They see a path that the quote unquote, what you should do. Every business owner knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's like that kiss of death. Yeah.
The only job you have as a business owner is to know what you should do, and everyone else thinks they see it. So you surround yourself with people who think they see it, and you go down those avenues, and you're just wasting time. The thing that I would say to anyone starting a business is it's going to hurt. It's just not. There's no way out of that.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those overwhelming things, and downtown was that for us, and now it's the irony is now Gilbert really is back to our breadwinner. The
Oh,
original
interesting.
location is back to like the shining, but Gilbert took a hit and it was like, what's going on down there?
Yeah.
So it'd give you a little insight on the downtown second, 2019 opening that one. It was hard.
Yeah.
And a lot of people.
Well, and then COVID hit, and you have polar opposite in terms of like the spectrum of politics, right?
Right.
So you're like trying to figure out a mask policy for these two
Yeah.
locations. They're all
So
mad at
different.
you.
Everybody's mad at everything.
We're paying attention to what I thought was obvious. There is a virus going around that's going to really, really impact people.
Right.
And then comes the wave of everything else.
Right.
And so in the middle of that, we have a downtown location that was basically a $3 million Uber Eats center.
Right.
And we had we did everything we could to save our employees' sanity, give them stipends for food and like we did a lot of things that we would do over, but it wasn't financially great.
We got to learn culture, though. I think that was a big opportunity. We hired a head of people. We got a little less like
she's got a master's degree in basically in HR and culture.
Love that.
It's someone who is defining purpose, right, and communicating that and building it into training and like giving this group collective consciousness a path forward and a direction to go versus we know where we're going.
Right.
But to communicate that to 175 people and get them all motivated, that's a different story.
That's a totally different story. And how great that you knew you had that need and found that right fit for it. Yeah.
I mean, that's been,
Game
our
changing.
lives have been so
much better
because there's less confusion.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
When we get excited about something, we want to run a direction.
Yeah.
The ripple down isn't like, what are we doing? Why? Who? What? Where? It's like it's all communicated.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of gets it.
That's
We do the feedback surveys, and now we do have someone who helps us with our financial side of things too, which is a lot of less sleepless nights.
Yeah. Well, and it sounds like, I mean, you two obviously built it and nurtured it and got it going to this amazing baby until you found the right people to help take that baby to the next level.
It's a decent summary. I think in the middle was the transition of the consumer.
Yeah.
The consumer is just different. It's just a different. Everyone in my world points to employees are different. I disagree. Generationally, we're all the same. You can go back to the baby boomers. They acted very similar to the Gen
Zers,
Z. Yeah, I don't think that.
Yeah,
I think the consumer's different. I think that the rating system's different. The expectation system is wildly different because the cost has gone up. But we've heard the term underrated, overrated more than you ever heard. They're overrated. They're under. What's so unique is that's all made up.
Yeah.
And so that's so different today is the rating system. When you go in day one, if you mess that up and don't get it right, the consumer now has the ability to just wash you out of the what I call the cool kid club.
Yeah.
The restaurant group that everyone agrees is like, there's the cool kid club.
Yeah.
A consumer can wipe you out. So you have to pay so much more than you ever have to get that hospitality. This isn't just meet and greet, really good food on time. This is now a new thing that I need you to be able to Instagram it. I need you to see where the food was. It cool purveyors and what's the art on the menu and how's the counter service and what there's things that weren't there.
And we're talking food and service,
right?
We're not talking beer. I mean, the first 5 years, all we talked about was nitty gritty details.
And beer.
What was in these beers that made them so cool?
Yeah. We've had to shift because people show up for our beer and just go, "This is awesome." Now it's like the critiquing and the ability for the consumer to change your course as a business is higher than ever. The good businesses stay true to what they're doing. The bad businesses just keep trying to listen to the minority, angry or outspoken ones. Yeah. But it's different. So there's new challenges today that I feel for anyone getting into the game today because you have to pay so well to keep people. Yeah. And so the cost going up is not about profit margin for the business. It's to maintain that new level. Danny Meyer's such a great restaurateur. If you listen to Danny Meyer, setting the table, it's all about setting the table and getting people to come in and treating them right and treating your vendors right. There's a new element though that it's be cool. It's with the Miracle Mile location that we just opened up, being cool is really difficult, and that's if you aren't, I can name a list of companies that are probably going to go out this year that just didn't good quality food isn't just, and beer isn't just, it's not good enough.
It's just not enough anymore.
There's got to be an element to your brand that is a spark that the customer goes, that's awesome. I want to come in and be a part of that.
Yeah.
And that is a hard thing.
It's a movement. It's a
movement.
yeah.
And you better be ready for it.
Yeah.
It will take some years off you and skin off your back. It's a lot of keeping up with the Joneses in the restaurant world.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And that's why our mentors are very important to us.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Who are those mentors for you?
Well, I always say Chris Bianco. He and I talk a lot.
What's his saying? Crap in, crap out. For the oven.
Yeah.
So it's like your ingredients matter so much.
Yep.
And it's like not even about being cool. It's just about what is your supply chain?
Yeah.
What is your source?
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that we really try to swim up those supply chains, have those relationships, and have that ultimate transparency.
Yeah.
And the younger generation certainly aligns with that. And I think everyone does to some extent. We have grappled with how far do we go, right? Because we can get really idealistic. And sometimes from a cost perspective, from a practicality perspective, and from a do people actually care about this particular thing that you're doing? We have to rein it into the middle, right?
Yeah.
The Goldilocks zone of, okay, is it a win for everyone involved?
Right.
You know, you're taking this idea that's like the stakeholder capitalism, if you will. You're thinking about your customers, you're thinking about your employees, you're thinking about the environment, you know, and then the shareholders, which is us too, like we have to be taken care of too.
Sure.
So that full comprehensive look. But for us, it's like those relationships and building those supply chains have actually, in recent time, have really turned into something of resilience because it's like, we're not going to get a tariff on our grain. It's growing right up the road, you know? And like, we don't see those disruptions.
Yeah.
And these are companies that we've worked with for 10 years.
Yeah.
So we have this loyalty, you know, you can always have a conversation directly with the farmer if anything's going to shift, anything's going to change. And they know that you're invested in them, so they're going to give you the benefit of
such a true partnership.
everything.
Yeah,
those conversations happen even on a business front, and then you grow together with that farm or that business.
Yeah.
And you don't outgrow each other because it doesn't work. You know, if someone's too small, their price point's too high. If they're too big, you can't take enough product for you to matter. So it's finding the right size company that has similar ideas and values about growth, and you know.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. And I know for your brand in particular, I know we were talking a little bit beforehand about the wilderness aspect in your brand and in your name. So talk to us a little bit about what that means to you and why that's such a big part of your creation.
So we're the only country in the world that has the wilderness system. The 1964 Wilderness Act, long story short, essentially sets aside lands that Congress has to vote upon and the president signs as land that can never be touched by humans for commercial enterprise or anything other than just letting it be nature. Even bicycles can't be there because they're mechanized. And so it's you know, the Vatican story I was telling you before, essentially the Vatican's like, hey, we don't have a lot of money because we have $1 trillion in assets, but we don't know how to make more money because we don't tax people. History changed the way the Vatican works. And so I laughed to myself. I said, I think America has the greatest asset in the world, which is wilderness. As we consume in society, we will go to the ends of the earth to build more pleasure zones. And so wilderness is a way to be the antithesis to human, artificial, you know, superficial pleasure zones. It is the true only real thing that we are is nature. And so wilderness means so much to me, and I think it represents how a business could run. Now we're so far from being perfect. We're never what we actually want to be, but we think that means a business can give its best effort to be something in the community that wilderness would represent. So, you know, for instance, we don't buy new buildings. Our Miracle Mile location is the first building that we actually bought with our partners at Gateway Bank, a local bank. Could get a whole episode of why you want to bank locally and keep the money in the system. But we like buildings that are adaptive reuse because Phoenix growing outwards with new stucco it's just kind of like blind leading blind. There's developers who are making a lot of money off that. There's people who can only afford the outskirt house. Yet there's all these beautiful interior homes.
Yeah.
In Phoenix interior, like on avenues and streets that historically were supposed to be great.
Yeah.
The reason they weren't is because everyone went out.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of aspects to wilderness that we believe in, but that's one of them where we think that buying adaptive reuse. Downtown's location was a black asphalt building. Now it's a 600-person beer garden.
So cool.
That has, as Pat was saying, it has a way to soak in the water after the rains, and then transpiration helps keep our city cool. So we think that that's a simple thing, but supporting local farms is kind of what we're known for.
Yeah.
So we have, between 40 and 60 that we support, and we believe that the farms in the state of Arizona, especially the ones growing organic or regenerative organic or sustainably, we think that they're the future of the country. I do think that people misunderstand our water rights, our water issues. 68% of our water goes to farms, and I don't remember the percentage, but the majority of that goes out of state and out of country. Even the farm, what's grown here,
silage and cattle feed and stuff like that.
We have a farming issue, and it's not the farmer's fault. It's just, again, blind leading the blind. We need to we have presidents who come and force things. They force things because they have 4 years to make their legacy.
Yep.
We don't. So farmers have to react to these big bills and things like that. So we think small business is. I'm a huge Warren Buffett fan. He retired last week. I just think that we can create our own stock market of small businesses. It's like a commodity market that has it's not on any exchange, and really it's a conversation. It's really just text messages between you and the farmer, and the emails and phone calls saying, "Hey, you have daikon radish. We can build a thing around that." That's just an anecdote. It gets bigger than that. We have a whole malt program where we're only buying Arizona malts, and that's a whole nother topic. So all of our beer is literally Arizona grown, and it's a water conservation program where 50 gallons of water saved per pint of beer, because we switched farmers from alfalfa, cotton, and corn to barley, which takes winter rains, not Verde River water. And so we just, all of these things that I'm telling you, we think that wilderness, it was a guiding example. Nature gives us an example, this beautiful way to live and thrive. When it rains, it goes down mountains and fills reservoirs. The rooted plants, they adapt to the soil and the weather. We're looking at them going, well, that should be how a business runs. Your business should take root in the soil that it's been given and not force anything. And so I implore our government to look at small business more, not big business, tax big business more, and allow the small businesses to take root, because my gosh, how many times we've almost gone bankrupt? Yeah. And you hear these cool things we're doing. We wouldn't have done them if we were gone. Yeah. And we couldn't continue. So right now we have a little stability, but there's never enough stability. Amazon stability, it's bulletproof. Yeah. We one bullet, we're done.
One bullet, we're done. Yep.
And how many businesses could say that around us? Even Bianca, who's a mentor, Joe Johnson out in Gilbert, another great mentor. Everyone would admit, like, you're never, as a small business, strong enough. So great foundation brand, but still struggle to find the ground every day. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what you guys have created and continuing to create is so exciting for Arizona, but so exciting too to build the local communities too, which, we get further and further away. The more technology we have, the further it seems that we pull apart. So I love that you have that community feel too. I mean, 600 people in a beer garden is just different than texting on a group chat.
We've created a lot of fans with the beer garden. A lot of them they're not white bearded males. You hear a lot of women who like it. You'll see a lot of diverse people down there drinking. I love that. Whether it's beer, cocktails, wine, NA beverages. We didn't pay for
fingers.
that. Yeah, fingers and fries,
chicken fingers.
Which we bred them in house, and we use a really great chicken company called Mary's out of Fresno, California. But when you like wilderness, there's probably the reason you like it might not be the reason we like it.
Yeah.
We love that you're enjoying an organic product from us, or but it's rewarding because we didn't pay to get downtown's diversity crowd. They showed up because they felt comfortable.
You created a space. You created a space, and I love that.
Sometimes you got to get the hell out of the way of your own business.
Yeah, and let it guide you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have a series of fun questions that I want to ask you guys. We'll kind of do this warp
Rapid
speed
fire.
here. Yeah, rapid fire.
do it.
Exactly. So fun questions originated from a French talk show originally. So Fast and Furious. Here we go. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Your favorite word?
Are we allowed to say it on air? Wilderness.
Wilderness.
Yeah,
I love that. What would you say?
There's no definition around the world. We learned that. Everyone goes, sauvage in French, but it doesn't mean wilderness the same way we view it as landscape that we've
interesting.
protected.
Okay.
They go, it's like the space that's open.
Yeah. Oh,
And so we're the only real wilderness in the world.
I love that. That's very cool. Do you guys have a least favorite word?
Debt. Debt's
Failure.
annoying. Yeah, failure.
Debt.
Debt's annoying because it's just the thing that it's a profit you have to pay someone else. It
Yeah.
just gets annoying. We're like, okay, you're going to make a profit. We owe you that.
Interest.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Interest in debt.
Yeah.
I love it. Spoken like true entrepreneurs. How about what for each of you turns you on spiritually, emotionally, conceptually, all of it, creatively? What lights you guys up?
For me, it's natural movement through running.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Love that.
Been
What would you
doing-
say?
Yeah, unobtainable goals. Goals that are too big.
Yeah.
They turn me on.
Yeah.
Too massive. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, that's huge. Attainable goals are what I have to strive for, but unobtainable goals are like, really?
Yeah,
Like,
that lights you
probably
up.
Sounds exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what turns you off?
Business in many ways.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite topic.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm an entrepreneur, but
Much rather talk about hiking in the wilderness and nature
Yeah.
and beauty and
this spiritual journey where
day-to-day
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
spiritual
like,
journey
grind
where
down.
I'd like everyone else to access the higher wavelength of
Yeah,
thinking.
uh-huh.
And so even our dishwashers, they tend to be, a lot of them are Hispanic. I love them to experience the American dream, which I think is the spiritual journey. I think we get it wrong when we think it's capitalism.
Yeah.
Capitalism is a great way to pay for things, but
Yeah.
the idea of us being enlightened in
Yeah.
America, that's what I think this is about. And so I really like when everyone gets access to that.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, and it sounds like you take them on that journey in their experience with you, which is so special
Sometimes
in what you create. Yeah.
you can't be everything all at once.
For sure.
But over time, if you stick with it, with wilderness and with us, I think you start to see a brighter light.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. What turns you guys off?
I like sometimes when there's this like facade of this over the top, like greenwashing, I cannot stand. Greenwashing bothers me so much because we try so hard, you know, and the transparency of what we do is then invalidated. You know,
Interesting.
It's real hard to explain what we do all the time because people get really bored. They're like, "Oh, cool, you're saving water, you're working with farms." It just becomes a repetitive mantra. And then you see someone who really has a nice shine to their message, and you're like, "Where have you been the past 13 years?
Yeah.
You're now using that local malt or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Where have you been the past 13 years? We need you. We need you more. Oh, you're not in it anymore. You did it once. Or you're doing that one thing that's kind of easy to do. That really gets tough. We're not asking you to join efforts the way full in sometimes is difficult. We're not asking. It's just don't say you're doing it unless you're really committed to it. And sometimes these farms, again, there's a lot of Hispanic labor there. They need to be paid better. They're Americans too. And maybe they're on a green card program. They're also contributing to the system. Let's pay them better.
Yeah.
And so you can't support a farm once and say, we do local.
I did it. Look at me.
This is a long-term program. This is a forever program for us. So
For
that's
sure.
a
We
good one.
gotta lock arms for
Yeah.
sure. No, I love that. What sound or noise do you love?
I'm loving the birds right now. So right now it's pollinating season. If you go out into any wilderness or any open spaces right now, the birds are. I was out near Ajo last night on the way to Mexico in the Oregon Pipe wilderness. And long story short, it's just birds are really they're so innate to the wilderness. They are pollinating things, and they're all thinking in groupthink. It's so cool. You know, we're all kind of connected, thinking in groupthink, building society. They are too. And you're looking at it, it's hearing the different calls.
Yeah.
If you don't hear that, I just don't know that you're fundamentally human. If you don't hear what's
happening
naturally happening without us artificially doing it. So yeah.
Love that.
I like an artificial sound.
Okay.
Didgeridoo.
A didgeridoo.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
That's working with nature.
Yeah.
Those are
there you go.
That's a particular type of wood.
It makes me feel like I'm like part of a, natural culture that is like living in nature.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
Like,
super cool.
It's cool.
Is there a sound or noise you guys hate?
The sound of the border wall being built really pissed me off. I was writing a book at the time on all 90 wilderness areas, and the time being COVID, with Arizona Highways magazine, who's our publisher, and I was in the Cabeza Prieto wilderness, which is our largest, and the sound at night, it really, it's still to this day irks me. The sound of what people believe is happening. I think if you saw it and ripping into the land and hearing the low hum of diesel engines and dynamite, which would be a great metal band song.
Yeah, diesel engines and dynamite.
Yeah,
I can hear it.
It really sucked.
Yeah.
It just really took away from what I think is spectacular and made it just a cage. So, yeah.
The good answer.
Mine kind of falls in that line too.
Yeah.
I was running the Black Canyon 100K. Gunshots.
No big deal. This guy just runs 100.
Just 100K.
Yeah, it was just a gun range gunshot situation for the back half of the race, and you're just like, man, I'm trying to run out in nature.
Yeah,
with, like,
and I'm hearing
friends, and
that.
we're just hearing gunshots the whole time. So
Got it.
it was a little rough.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. If you chose a profession other than your own, what would you pick? Skill set aside.
I don't like going down paths that it doesn't help me personally. So I plead the fifth. I think that right now this is just where I'm at.
Where you're at, where you are and where you're supposed to be. Yeah.
It's so hard to do that in therapy. I've learned not to do that because what's the point?
Yeah.
Especially if you're a dreamer.
Yeah.
What's the point to dream about something else when right now what you can do in your own life is take so many tangible assets and redefine yourself within 30 days.
Yeah.
With things you already have.
Yeah.
That's more of my answer than
where
would I be if I could go back in time.
You talked about those big, lofty, unattainable goals. I thought
But
maybe there was something there.
Yeah, but I can do that with what's in front of me.
Yeah.
I don't need to go back in time and change it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Absolutely. Do you have one that?
Yeah, if I was like 20, I probably would be like a river raft guy down the Grand Canyon or something.
I could see
At
that.
least,
I could see that.
At least a good 5-10 years ago would be really fun.
What profession for each of you were you like, oh hell no, that would be horrible? I'm with you. Like anything that.
Yeah, when I first moved here, banquet set up at the Arizona Biltmore. Met some of the coolest people. I will not be setting rounds for wealth ever again. Meaning the tables and setting it up. It really got to me where the back of house is so near and dear to me. The back of house is the blood, sweat, and tears of the front of house. I was like, hey, I also would like tips. Yeah. And I would like to just show up for 4 hours. Yeah. The back house, like I'm on my 14th hour, and a lot of them, from Hispanic to Bosnian and Haitian, like I was the one gringo, and I'm like, this is a really great learning experience, but I really don't want to be setting rounds for people. So I take that with me anytime we're working at our locations where I just like back of house a lot. I like the nitty gritty side of it.
That's awesome.
But I did not love that job.
Yeah, no, I can understand why. I can understand why. So to wrap us up, final question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear he or she say when you arrive at the pearly gates? Yeah,
I would love to hear that this is an ongoing project. Like heaven sounds like an end, and I think that the idea of this being an ongoing learning experience would be really wonderful. Like, hey, let's do this again in a different way. That's kind of the motor would get to keep turning.
Yeah,
I'd hate to go, all right, you're done.
Yeah,
we just got started.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean? This is just getting going.
Just started learning.
That's awesome. How about for you, Patrick?
I would hope that, and this is based on some of our Scandinavian travels, that John and I would enter through probably not whatever this heaven is, but meet Odin and drink in Valhalla with, the gods and the Vikings.
Yeah.
I'm liking this.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is not
With
an answer.
didgeridoos.
With didgeridoos.
Yeah.
Always with the didgeridoos.
Yes.
Always with the
There could be
didgeridoos.
mushrooms involved. In didgeridoos, yeah.
You guys are amazing. I swear we could have this conversation for another 7
Yeah,
days
it
and
would
still
be-
not
it would
scratch
be
the
possible.
surface.
Wow.
But the good news is that people can come visit you and learn more at your locations and at least be a part of this creation.
Killer food and beer. Like, we haven't gone into the tangible asset of wilderness.
Yeah.
I think people like what we do because it tastes so good.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and that's the fundamentals of our business.
Which is so cool. And
you
it's
can't
not
have
just
any of
craft
the things
beer,
we-
right?
Yeah. Yes. We can't have any things we talked about today without having badass product.
Yeah.
And I think the Miracle Mile location, you'll see the effort we put into adding some life into our business in a way that it was some locked up corners that we're revealing right now, culinarily and food and beverage in general.
Well, and I love that you have really 3 different experiences. You know,
Yeah.
you don't go and go, oh, this is copy and paste of the other, which is the next, and it's just some kind of franchisee vibe. It's completely unique at each location. So I'm excited. I'm going to be there. I'm going to
Come
be there.
check it
All
out.
3.
There.
I will.
Yeah.
All
We'll give you
3.
a tour.
Final question. This is the Leadership Lowdown. My passion is people and growth and getting people to think bigger, live bigger. What tip, word of wisdom for life, business, however you want to take it, would you want to leave our listeners and viewers with today? What have you learned along the journey that you want to share?
Lean into the discomfort.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, I think I would speak directly to people who want to start a business or just started a business. They're near and dear to my heart. You will fail, and your failures are yours. They're not everyone else's. And in a lot of businesses, you make it everyone else's.
Yeah.
Your failures are the businesses. You need to get away from that, and it's your failure. The successes of your business are also the same. They're your successes many times, and the best businesses make the successes and failures an equal weight and a net casts out. And that the young business owner a lot of times just won't know that, and so you try to guide, like, hey, so you won an award. Does your kitchen know that?
Yeah.
You know, the men and women of your kitchen who probably aren't from here, or if they are, they're speaking Spanish. Do you know?
Do they know?
Those are one example, but
Yeah.
You have
you
to
know,
empower them to
Yeah.
fail
yeah,
also.
the whole
Yeah.
business has to be something that the young entrepreneur won't know until they know, and so you try your best to reveal what you've learned. But the lean into this pain, you're just gonna have to hit this turbulence.
Yeah.
You know,
I love
just
it.
how it goes.
I love it. Well, you guys are living proof of all that you believe, and you've poured it into the businesses that you love and run. And so we thank you. Thank you for sharing your
Thanks
story,
for
your
having us.
background. And now
Yeah.
we get to go visit them. 3 locations. You can't have no
Let's rock and
excuse.
roll.
You're somewhere near to everybody. So with that, thank you both so much for being here. And thank you for listening and watching today. Again, my name is Jodi Low with the Leadership Lowdown. Remember, leaders are learners. So stay curious and keep leading with love.